What up, gang of language? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you. It is Thursday afternoon. I hope everybody's doing good on this wet and woolly afternoon. So, a couple of questions. Well, maybe just one big question. And that is, what in the hell is really going on up here in Knoxville, Tennessee? What's going on with Nico Ilamalieva, his agent, and the Tennessee NIL people and the Tennessee football peoples? I'm seeing things today that he's entering some contract renegotiation talks with the NIL people at Tennessee, and the rumors are, but the rumors are that he could possibly hit the spring portal if things don't go his way. So he might take his ball and go home if things don't go his way and he doesn't get the raise that he's looking for. First off, this is what I want to tell you. Why are you in the boss's office trying to get a raise when you don't deserve one? You're making $2 million a year. $2 million a year. Do you have any idea how much me or most of the lay people out there in the world would have to work? How many years we would have to work to accumulate $2 million? I'm talking about just in the salary that we accumulate. I'm not talking about saving it. I'd never save that. I'd never have it. But you're making $2 million a year on your contract, locked in, and you want more? Why? I mean, it has to be one of those old fair market value type things. Apparently, he knows how much this quarterback over here is making. He knows how much this guy over here is making. He knows how much this guy over here is making. Why? Because it's all public knowledge. Do I think that's bullshit? Yes, I do. And why do we know these things? Because there was absolutely no rules whatsoever put around the NIL structure. Well, there is no structure. There was no rules put around any of this at its inception. What, like 4 years ago? Yeah. So as a result, you have a system that is, it goes a million different directions. Right? It's like you just it'd be like throwing a bunch of grass seeds up into a windstorm and just watching them blow them in every direction possible. It's like a fart in a whirlwind type thing. That's why we have no rules of this. But you're in here asking for a raise when you don't deserve a raise based on your body of work, sir. You don't deserve a raise. And why do I say this? I say this because your numbers last year were mid. They were mid. What do you possibly have that you can bring to the bargaining table, the negotiating table, if you will, to possibly warrant yourself worthy of these monies? The fact that the team made the playoffs last year, yeah, they did. That's great. You didn't lead them to the playoffs last year. You were the quarterback on the team that made the playoffs last year. What took Tennessee to the playoffs last year? Dylan Sampson and the defense and the taffy-ass schedule. That's what took Tennessee to the playoffs last year. You're just there. You were the quarterback of the team. Had you been changed out and someone else quarterbacked that team, I dare say they would have still made the playoffs because of Dylan Sampson, because of the defense, and because of the soft schedule. It's not hard to see. Numbers just weren't that great, dude. I mean, look at the Heisman odds this year. You ain't on it. I mean, the expectations that you had from the Tennessee fans, especially coming into the 2024 season, I mean, were through the roof. They were through the roof. Nobody thought that you would have the season that you had last year. but Tennessee made the playoffs, so you're not looked at as strongly under that microscope as you could have been potentially if Tennessee went 8-4 and didn't make the playoffs, or 7-5 and didn't make the playoffs and had like a couple of embarrassing losses. So coming to the boss's office, trying to get a raise when clearly your body of work dictates that you don't deserve one at this time is playing with fire, in my opinion, because no more than you contributed last year, buddy, they could tell you to kick rocks. And I almost would go on ahead and do it. I know they've recruited well, and I know they've got one waiting in the wings who's ready to go. I mean, is he going to be quite as ready as what you are? No. Is he going to understand the offense like you do? No. Would he be serviceable? Probably so. Probably so. You better stop messing around, buddy. You might just hit that old FAFO. And you know what that FAFO is. Look around and find out. Because they might tell you to hit the road. We're already paying you enough. I mean, the buck has got to stop. Well, excuse me. The $2 million has got to stop somewhere. Somebody's got to stand up to these kids at some point and their agents and tell them enough's enough. No, we're not giving in to you. You're already making enough money. You're actually making too much money based on the numbers that you put up last year, based on what you did on the field last year, and you're lucky to be getting that much. And there's probably about 30 million fans out there who would give their left nut to make half the money that you're making this year that will never see this much money in their lifetime. That's Carolina Jackpot's take on it. I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks about this, because it's absolutely gotten out of hand. As I said, when the NIL came out and it became a thing, yeah, they didn't lay any rules down, but I don't think that they knew that there was going to be such disorganization. I guess someone just thought it would all take care of itself. I really don't know, but something's got to be done at some point. What that is, I don't know. A lot of people I've seen online, they'll tell you, well, I stopped watching college football because it was just about the NFL now. You're supposed to, you watch the NFL? What the hell? I don't like a lot of the things that college football has become, but I've adapted to it, and I've rolled with the punches, and I'll roll with the punches even more. I'm not going to get to see my team play. I'm not going to see my team make a playoff run, which is what they're going to do this year. Spoiler alert. You don't get to see the players like Diego Pavia who go out there and give you their heart and soul. You're not going to see the other great individual performances. A Travis Hunter, a guy who plays both ways and dominates both. An Ashton Genty who goes out and comes from a no-name school in the middle of nowhere and rushes for 2,500 yards. You miss those things if you choose to. I'm not going to watch because it's just like the NFL. And guess what? Those people that say that, I also think you're probably lying. So there's that as well. But you've got to keep things tight to the vest anymore. And once again, I'm glad that Shane Beamer on Tuesday at his press conference, I'm glad that he stood up to the members of the media. I'm glad that he's laid down some ground rules for these people to follow when covering his team. Because the more and more I think about it, his little tirade the other day, he was absolutely in the right to do what he did when he told that reporter, stop publishing depth charts. Don't do that shit. We don't have a depth chart. If the coach says we don't have a depth chart, we don't have a damn depth chart. And he is certainly within his coaching rights to do such a thing and to say such a thing and to make that call. You guys are you're out here making a living off of him and his team, right? So all the best that you, or the least you can do, I should say, is follow the rules that he sets in terms of covering his team. He don't want you publishing a depth chart. He's got to. I mean, look at what's going on right now. Every semester, it's a roster turnover. Every semester, it's free agent time. And these kids, their attention spans are shorter and shorter. They don't listen. Communication is harder and harder. And, he's probably having meetings with these guys, but you still don't like to see things like that in print, especially if you're not a third stringer. You don't see yourself as a third stringer. I see myself, I thought I was fighting for a starting gig. And they got me on the third string, Maybe I got offered by Virginia Tech one time. Maybe I'll give that coach a call. Shit. That's what they're could be possibly thinking. That's what Shane Beamer is thinking. And there's nothing wrong with him wanting to shut it down and keep stuff under lock and key. I don't blame him one iota. But Nico, this dude is totally in the wrong. His agent is totally in the wrong. Whoever's in his ear, which it's probably someone in his ear that's totally in the wrong. And another thing about him, too. And I want to say this, too, and I'm going to get off his ass, and I'm going to get off my soapbox here. He doesn't inspire me. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been on the field with him. I mean, obviously. But he doesn't look fiery. He doesn't look like a leader to me. He doesn't look like he commands the respect of his team. And once again, I hate Tennessee, but in this case, I'm not shitbagging on him. He just doesn't look to me like he commands the team very well yet. Maybe he does eventually. In terms of, I've seen other quarterbacks out there, and I'm keeping Lenore Sellers out of this, but I hate to say it, but the Taters Cade Klubnik, he gets fiery, he shows passion, he shows aggression, he takes command of his team. I've watched these games. I know what I'm talking about here. I don't see that from you. But yet you want over you want over that $2 million you making right now. Get out of town. Anyway, I'll see you guys later on. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out of here. Go Gamecocks.